Hey everybody, it's me and Dara, and I ranked every game I played in 2025. Here's number 40 through number 44. Number 44, Duke Nukem 3D, released for the Sega Saturn in 1997. This game had a strong atmosphere and the classic Duke Nukem attitude. There was good music and sound quality, especially considering this is on the Sega Saturn. There were quite a few weapons in this game, honestly almost too many, but there were some really cool options. Shrinking enemies and stomping on them was very satisfying, and it helped you to defeat some of the more difficult enemies. This Saturn port of Duke Nukem had cut down, rebuilt levels, which were supposedly inferior to the PC version, but playing through this game as a kid, I really didn't notice anything like that. And even with that knowledge in my head playing through this on stream in 2025, it didn't really hit me as these levels being less than what they were originally supposed to be. I'd say around halfway through the game, you had like a whole big cluster of space levels in a row, and I didn't really like those that much. This game did feel a bit too long for the small variety of enemies and things you could do in it, and the very few boss fights that are in this game, but I had a lot of nostalgia playing this game. I liked it a lot. Would I recommend this? Actually, no, I wouldn't recommend this game, but I had a good time playing it. Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby.
Number 43, Creed, Rise to Glory, Championship Edition, released for the Sony PS VR2 in 2023. I completed both of the story modes, Rise to Glory and Legacy, on this title, and I have to say that this was the best PS VR2 game that I played in 2025, by a lot. While the story modes were very short, the small bit of story that was covered in the 3 Creed movies was done very nicely. The gameplay was fun, and I sweated buckets playing through this game. I was very immersed in the boxing matches. I had a legitimately fun time. The hit detection was spotty sometimes, and other times it felt perfect, which was a little bit of a letdown, a little bit of a negative here, but I would say that this game is a must play. My experience with the PSVR 2 is mostly negative, and this was a definite bright spot. I would recommend this game. Number 42, Mortal Kombat 2, released for the Sega Genesis in 1993. Earlier in the year, I played through a tournament with Majin Daub and Barry Bands, but then later, I went back and I beat the entire game, and I performed every single finisher, Babality, Friendship, Fergality, all that stuff. All the stage finishers, except I couldn't get one of them to work for some reason. I was disappointed in this game that after beating the story mode, you don't get a cutscene or a story still or anything like that after defeating Shao Kahn, because in Mortal Kombat 1, you did get these like story stills when you defeated Shang Tsung. A little bit of a disappointment. The moves and fatalities really felt satisfying to pull off, and while they look cool, I was definitely less impressed with them in 2025 than I was as a kid. And in fact, in general, I wasn't as impressed with this game as I remembered. I remember Mortal Kombat 2 being such an amazing, fun experience, and playing through it with friends, as well as playing through the story mode myself, and unlocking all the secrets again, which I spent hours and hours and hours enjoying as a kid. Man, in 2025 as an adult, it just hit different in a negative way. I didn't like it. I would say Mortal Kombat 2, at least the Sega Genesis port, not worth playing in 2025. Number 41, Puzzle Bobble, Every Bubble, released for the Nintendo Switch in 2023. This game starts out super easy, but it gets challenging very quickly. There's cute character designs and voice acting, with a very forgettable story. The level design was clever, and I liked the variety in mechanics as you progress through the game. And there's a quite fun co-op mode. I played this game a few times with my daughters. While the levels were easy early on, it was still a blast playing through it with them. Beating the game myself and getting to the later levels, the challenge really ramped up, and I was struggling to get through this game. I did eventually do it, of course, but man, pretty tough, but pretty fun. This was my first game that I played in the Puzzle Bobble series, and it left a pretty good taste in my mouth. I'd be interested to play some of the other ones, and I would say that if you were a fan of puzzle games, this game's worth playing. If you're not, then it's not. Number 40, Tele-Roboxer, released for the Nintendo Virtual Boy in 1995. This was the best of the 2 Virtual Boy games that I played in 2025. There's an excellent sense of depth using the Virtual Boy's pseudo 3D effects, and I found that the unique first-person boxing perspective in this game was refreshing, and maybe I preferred this perspective over the perspective of Little Mac and Punch-Out. I don't know. I really liked it. The controls were responsive, but they're also a little bit overly complex, and they took a little bit of time to get used to and to learn, but once I did get a handle of them, they were very fun to utilize. Defeating each opponent in this game felt satisfying, and each enemy boxer utilized completely different mechanics, which reminded me a lot of the original Punch-Out game in a good way. You have so much control over your fighter in this game with the 2-stick control scheme. It was almost too much. It was almost overwhelming how much control you had over your own boxer. The red and black was definitely a choice for the Virtual Boy, and it ruined this game for me a little bit. If this game was in normal colors, I think I would have ranked this title way higher because it was very fun fun, very deep, and very good. I do recommend this game, especially if you enjoy Punch-Out, as most people do. I'd recommend you give this game a try. Give it some time, though, because the controls are very complex, and I could see it being hard at the beginning to get used to.